Hello and welcome to this week's Whole Week Costa. For Kev, I'm Jay. Today we're going to be talking about the final episode of Season 1, Star Wars Clone Wars, and the title of this episode is called Hostage Crisis.
To free crime lord Zero Hutt, bounty hunters seize control of the Senate building and take hostages. Completely unaware at first, the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker is still inside. So first thing, I feel like in the episode, they do refer to him as Zero the Hutt, right? Not Zero Hutt, like they do in this description.
Yeah, it's Zero the Hutt. So, chronologically, this takes place between Seasons 3 episodes Evil Plans and Hunt for Zero. So, there's no, it just, this episode felt very out of place, and it was a terrible, cliffhanger for Season 1.
Yeah, I guess. So I didn't watch the first episode of Season 2. You were just saying that you watched it and that they use these characters. So I wonder if, I don't know. I wonder how it was planned. I wonder if they just had this episode and they didn't know where to put it, so they put it at the end. Maybe I can see why you could put it at the end a little bit because I guess again in the thinking that I don't know if they knew how many seasons they could have and they needed to build the story to Anakin becoming Darth Vader. This has the seeds of that. You see Anakin's just like a whiny child. He's not in love with Padme, in the mature sense of love. He just, he's, I don't know. He dismisses what she needs or what she wants. He just cares about getting, this trip that he wants. The
episode starts with him going Padme, let's get away together. And she's like, no, I got to put this bill towards Senate. We're in the middle of war. And he's like, well, you don't love me because you don't want to go away. And you're like, oh, well, you're obviously 17 because it's so stupid.
Yeah. He's either he's either a 17-year-old, which I guess, is he age wise? I guess he's somewhere around there. Right.
Yeah.
Or he's borderline abusive, you could say. Basically, yeah. That's definitely those tendencies where, oh, if you don't do this thing I want, then you don't love me, and then he has this crazy fake show with giving her the lightsaber, which is so cringy because obviously she's just going to give it back to him. It's not like he's never going to have his lightsaber again, that. And even if he did, what does it even mean? That doesn't make any sense. And then when she's walking out of the room, why not just leave the lightsaber on the desk? He's still there. He's going to grab it. Or why not tell Senator Organa, oh, hang on, I'll beat you in 1 minute. I got to do something real quick.
Right.
I don't know. It was such a forced contrivance, this lightsaber thing. This is probably the worst episode of the season, honestly.
Well, the thing is, I was already turned off by the fact he's like, you don't love me. And she's like, well, I do, but this is my job. Just because you're on vacation doesn't mean I'm on vacation. And then I was just like, really? That's how they're going to set it up? And she's a senator. It's not like Bail Organa's like, come with me right now. I'm your boss. He's also a senator. I know he's a bigwig in a senator and she's probably a junior senator comparatively. But it's they're both equal. She doesn't have to be so nervous around Bail Organa.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole force contrivance was bad. And then, I don't know. And then once Anakin shows up, I don't know. Well, Zach actually had the lightsaber when the guy was right in her face. I really wanted to turn on the lightsaber and just kill him. But then you would have had to figure out a different path for the episode. Although, that would have been awesome though. But then you wouldn't have that character anymore.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, about lightsaber, I think the canon always changes. I think you have to be a force wielder. I think you have to be a force wielder to actually have a lightsaber.
Yeah,
to use one.
She turns it on at the end of the episode.
Yeah. And then, but you see other people that are like, oh, I'm not a force wielder, but I use a lightsaber. And it's well, I thought you had to be it's part, your kyber crystal picks you and it goes into the lightsaber you build. So I don't get it.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. We should look into that more. Like, I don't know. But I feel like we've seen other episodes where people at least wield a lightsaber in some degree that aren't the original owners or whatever. But he gives
Right.
it. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know. If there is canon like that, that might have been a more that could have been a less contrived plot that he makes this big show of giving it to her, so that it doesn't work for him like that. Like that would have been better than just like I can't take the second to hand you the lightsaber back, or or why not just when he walks in instead of him hiding behind the desk, just be like, oh, we're in here talking about stuff, like
like anything, like, oh, sorry, we were talking about my security detail or whatever.
yeah.
They all know they're friends. I mean, it's what I mean. That's like if I was talking, to your wife, and like you walked in and I hid behind the counter, and you're like, "Look, what are you guys doing in here? Are you cheating on me?" And I'm like, "Well, like I'm at your house and I'm friends with your wife, so no."
No, until I hid behind the counter. No. Yeah, I don't know. And then the rest of the episode, I mean, I don't know. This was like some of the flattest action. Like I felt like we knew going to get his lightsaber back at some point, and then so him fighting that assassin droid just by hand. I guess it was kind of cool when the bounty hunter realized that meant he didn't have his lightsaber. I mean, I guess that was the one interesting plot point when the enemy discovers that his weakness. But
I mean, the bounty hunter was pretty cool. I mean, the story, like he kidnaps some of the senators that are there, and he's like, "We want Zero the Hut out," and like that's pretty cool. Like that could happen. The bounty hunter was cool. Like he planned everything out. Like he put his team together. I think the better episode would be him, like the real trophy thing. Like it should have been part 1 of 2, where like he gets a job and like he has to fly through the universe, putting like a good team together, like snipers and everything. And you're like, cool. Like you're setting up this bounty hunter. Like you set him up to be like a good guy, to like you think he's gonna like save a senator from other people, and he doesn't. He's just a bad guy. Like if you set up the story a little better, I think this would have been a better episode.
Yeah, there are ways to do it better. Oh, also was Shahan Alama. That's the bounty hunter. I couldn't keep that many names in my head this early in the morning. But yeah, I guess the only interesting about the episode was how it ends. That we sort of expect, Anakin, because most of these episodes have been really, normal episodic episodes where it's then like, oh, he gets out of the thing and he captures them in the end or whatever. But in the end, they do escape, and he only saves the senator. So it was one of the most down episodes especially for not really a multi-part episode. Like, I mean, we had some multi-part episodes where we ended on a low note, but even then, I don't think the note was as low as this, with them actually escaping with Zero. And I mean, the Senate building still semi blowing up, just nobody died. So it was a pretty low end of the episode. It was pretty dark in the beginning too. Cracking that one Senate commando's neck, versus just the normal sort of lightsaber or blaster death. And also,
it was a very violent beginning.
Yeah, and also the fact that these are, I mean, again, the clones are people, but these are like people, like the Senate commandos aren't clones,
And it's not like they were shooting him in the chest, like very childish, like PG-13. Like that lady and the droid helpers were going for headshots.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were messing around. And again, these are actually people with like families and stuff, not the clones. But yeah, I don't know. I think it might be all I have for this episode. What about the rest of the season? This is the last episode of season 1. What did you think of the season overall?
The season, like I've always said, like I hear that season 1 and 2 are okay, and then 3 through 7 are like great. But I do feel like I do like the world building in this, and I do like introducing. You learn more about the Star Wars characters and some more home worlds, but then I quickly get annoyed by I want to see like I don't mind them solving problems in a day, but I definitely want to start following more Jedi. Like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, if you think about it, I mean, we met a lot of characters already in this episode. I have the list up here. I mean, of the episodes, and looking through it, I mean, I don't think there's any of these episodes, maybe one or two, where I don't remember them that clearly. I mean, the rest of them, I feel like I don't know. I can tell you what happened in all the rest of them, which I feel like for an average series, especially, I mean, this is 22 episodes. I mean, that's pretty good storytelling if they all stuck with me that much. I mean, we had we had that first sort of standalone ambush episode, which really introduces us to how this world's going to go at this time period, and introduces to the clones a little bit better because from the movies we don't really get a sense of them as real people. Then we had the Malevolent storyline, which is still my favorite. And then we had, sort of a bunch of standalone episodes, but ones that introduced new characters. We got to see Jar Jar in a new light. We got that great Grievous episode.
Grievous's Lair,
yeah.
That was a great episode.
And then there's I forget what. Like the Trespass Defenders of Peace episodes. I forget what planet they're on, honestly. And then the Blue Shadow Virus, and then Ryloth. I mean, so a bunch of great story arcs in this. And then again, we end with sort of a weak episode, but I don't know if it's just supposed to set up sort of Dark Anakin for the future. They just wanted to remind people of that at the end.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, it's still like, yeah, like with all the complaints I have about like how this ends on, it's kind of like a lackluster. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't me making me think. Like if I watched this in real time, like I wasn't thinking, oh man, I can't wait till season 2. I like it wasn't part of that, but I know like it's going to be good. But it does set up a lot of things, like the Dark Anakin, him being like a kind of a butthead. I guess Zero the Hutt's going to be like another bad guy. The Bounty Hunter is definitely like another bad guy. So it sets up some more bad guys for this, but not on a global scale. Like these bad guys don't affect like the war.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah. I mean this episode, yeah, and it's kind of a shame because this is one of this was actually the second highest rated episode as far as viewership from this season. So I feel like a lot of people tuned in for this. I agreed. I don't know how excited they are for the second season at that point. But they apparently between season 1 and season 2 released the Star Wars Decoded stuff, where they basically, it's like that. Do you remember like the old, like, I think it was VH1, like the pop-up video thing where like at the facts pop up? They apparently did something like that with season 1. They really released a lot of episodes with like facts about the world and stuff.
That's cool. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah. On the Wikipedia though, they mentioned that it's not clear if all the facts are canon facts, because some of them are like in-universe things where it's basically like a character acknowledging the information as if it was like a retelling of the story, but then other ones are like reference like real world stuff, like they make real world comparisons. So. Right. So it's unclear how canon those pop-up facts are.
Yeah, I'm like, I want everything to be canon, but it can't be. They delete a lot of Star Wars history over the years, but I kind of want everything to be canon. There's like so many good stories, especially like I've been watching a lot of videos on Darth Vader, and like there's a lot of good stories about like him being in constant pain and like he's insane and like he uses the Force to like help him walk because like everything is outdated. Like all his robotics and prosthesis are outdated.
Yeah, it's just a shame that, I mean, because that actually wasn't over the years. It was all in one swoop. It was when Disney bought the IP, they took all of all the extended universe out of canon. So it's like the legend stuff now, and it's just a shame because they have. I don't know, like there's ways to do it, like Marvel, like comic books, like Marvel and DC do it, where I mean they have years of storytelling, some of which conflict. So there's just alternate universes, or there's like alternate timelines or whatever. So then especially with the Marvel movies, obviously the DC ones, some of them had some problems, but with the Marvel movies, then they were able to draw from this whole canon universe stuff, and put multiple storylines together to form some of these movies, which were great.
Right.
And they could do the same thing here. What's really a shame is even if you want to get rid of all the extended universe stuff and say it's not canon anymore, you could bring it back into canon through the movies. Like there are, and I haven't gotten into it too much, so I'm taking the word of like people I really trust on their Star Wars opinions on, but there's great stories out there. So why not make them into these new movies instead of have two different directors with conflicting visions write their own stories, basically.
Yeah, they should get like an ironclad contract. Like, all right, if we want a trilogy, you're directing all three, and they're like, all right, the next like 6-7 years is me and Star Wars. Like, as a human, I'd be like, that's great job stability.
Yeah, exactly. And you see the difference though between the Marvel movie, again, back to the Marvel movies, where for some of them they drew from I can't remember the name of the YouTuber that talked about it. I'll post it in the YouTube video description. I don't know about the podcast stuff. I'll find the video I'm talking about. But he compared the DC and Marvel stuff, and he said, look, and again, I'm not like a huge comic book nerd, so I'm taking his opinion on this. But his take was that if you looked at the DC movies and you look at the most recent Batman movies, that they basically, it looks like they drew inspiration from, if you typed in like Batman comics into Google and took like the top 5 most popular comics, like it looks like they like read those and went, okay, we're good, let's make a Batman movie. Versus for the Avengers movies, if you look at dig down to what the source material is for, especially for, I think he quoted in particular Thor Ragnarok, there's some like obscure material that they reference in those movies. So his thing was like, you can see the love that they have for the source material, and it comes across in the movie that they're also comic book nerds and they love it and they want to tell a great story with what they love. Versus Ryan, I guess Ryan Johnson in particular, I don't want to get in the whole Last Jedi thing, but just basically saying like, I'm doing my own thing. And obviously Ryan Johnson's a really good storyteller from his other movies he's made. I haven't seen Knives Out yet. I do kind of want to watch it, but apparently it's a great movie. So he appears to be a great story.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, but then you can't just like, I don't know, like this is an IP that's important to a lot of people, that a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about and talking about and watching and reading. And you can't just do your own thing. Like, you have to love the IP to do it well. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if J.J. Abrams does either, but I mean, he at least will give you a little fan service, and act like he does. I don't know whether he really does or not, but I mean, I at least think, whether you think Last Jedi was a good movie or not, that it doesn't show a love for the source material.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, there's countless books and comics that they could have, they could have been like, oh, that's cool. Like, shit fans love.
Yeah. I should make a real clickbaity, like YouTube thing about just about like this being about the Last Jedi. Then people will watch it. So for the 30 seconds we talked about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, next week we'll begin season 2 of the Clone Wars.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So you got anything else?
That's it. I'm done.
All right. For Kev, I'm Jay. That was the season finale and season 1 for Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series. Catch us on YouTube, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Thanks for listening to season 1. We hope you guys like the direction we went into. Catch us for season 2 in 1 week.